So, what is digital forensic? Okay. So, digital forensic is a branch of forensic science which deals with the recovery and investigation of material found in the digital devices like phone, tablets, computer, hard drives, etc. etc. So, digital forensics is similar general forensic, but it applies only on the digital devices like phone, tablets, etc., etc., computer, and hard drives. Okay, and digital forensic, sometimes known as digital forensic science, is a branch of forensic science encompassing the recovery and investigation of material found in digital devices, often in relation to computer crime. Okay, so what is the logic behind the digital forensics? So digital forensic basically, suppose a crime happens. Suppose a crime happen. So a forensic team will goes there and sees everything, and now if he now the team will seize everything, and the team will receive, suppose team will receive some phone, some computer. Then he seized the computer, the hard drive, or the phone. Okay, and then apply the recovery and investigation of the device found. Okay, because the team will find some clues. The team will try to find some evidence in the hard drives or phones or laptops, whichever found on the crime scene. Okay, so digital forensic basically branch of forensic science which deals with the recovery and investigation of the materials found on the digital devices. Okay, so the digital forensic, what is the process of digital forensics? The process of identifying, preserving, and analyzing and presenting. Okay, so just show the last line. Digital forensic is the process of identifying. What is identifying? We will discuss it. Okay, preserving, analyzing, and presenting digital evidence in a manner that is legally acceptable in any legal proceeding in court of law. Okay, so reason for performing digital forensics. Reason for performing digital forensics. What is the reason? Identifying a leak within an organization. So first of all, you have to identify a leak within an organization, assessing the possible damage that occurred during a breach. If a crime happened, if a security breach is happened, then assessing the possible damage, that how many data you have lost and how many data, and in the data how many of your documents and how many of your important files damage during the breach, and reconstruct the crime scene. Okay, if you solve a mystery, then you should reconstruct. Then you have to solve the crime scene. Okay. So this is Locard's exchange principle. Okay. Basically, Locard exchange principle is all about general forensics. It's all about general forensic, but as I said, digital forensic is a kind of a branch of general forensic which deals in digital kinds of things. Okay, so Edmond Locard's Sherlock Holmes of France principle: every contact by a criminal leaves behind a trace. Mean to say, every criminal, it is impossible for a criminal. It is impossible for a criminal that he doesn't leaves anything behind it. Okay, so even the intelligent or clever criminal leaves behind a trace, and that is the Locard exchange principle. Okay, it is impossible for a criminal to act, especially considering the intensity of the crime, without leaving traces of his presence. So it is impossible for a criminal at the crime scene that he leaves the scene without leaves any trace of him. Okay, so Locard's exchange principle is an important part of forensic science investigation. Okay, it is stated that any criminal leaves behind a trace when committing a violent crime. Okay, and according to the intensity of the crime, criminal leaves a trace. Okay, Locard's exchange principle does apply to cybercrime involving computer networks such as identity theft and electronic bank fraud or denial of service attacks. Okay, although the criminal may make virtual contact with the crime scene through use of proxy. So suppose a criminal or a hacker use a proxy server. Okay, use a proxy server, then it is not 100% guarantee that he will not caught by the cops. Okay, so we believe he will still leave a trace and digital evidence will exist. So Locard principle says every criminal leaves a trace behind it on the crime scene. So you have to investigate all of the things very precisely. And okay, so this is the Locard exchange principle. Now, types of digital forensics. So what kinds of digital forensics available? So first of all is computer forensics, then network forensics, then mobile devices forensics, IoT forensics, cloud forensics, and many more kinds of forensics available according to the crime or according to the device compromised or used in the crime. Okay, so computer forensics. Okay, if the crime is happen by the use of the computer or by the and the victim of the computer is the computer and the victim of the crime is a computer, then it applies the computer forensics. Network forensic means if a hacker or a attacker use your network to commit a crime, okay, that is called network forensics, because you have to investigate your network, because your network is found in the cybercrime. So computer forensics and network forensics is basically digital forensics is all about the computer forensic, network forensic, mobile device forensic, IoT. Mean to say, wherever you use your digital presence, digital forensics applies there. But the techniques is different according to the devices used in the attacks. Okay, suppose if you use mobile device, then the mobile device investigation technique is different. If you use a computer device used, the computer then the technique of forensic is different. Then same as applied in IoT forensics, same as applied on the cloud forensics and different kinds of forensics. Okay, so this is the process of forensics investigations. Okay, process of digital forensics. Okay, so first of all, the first step is identification. Identification mean to say, suppose a crime happened. So first of all, you have to identify the crime scene. Okay, you have to identify the crime scene for identification. Okay, suppose a crime happens. Okay, then you found a laptop, you found a mobile phone, or you found a hard drive at the crime scene. Then you have to seize it, and you have to take the custody of the device found it on the crime scene, and identification for the identification process. Okay, preservation warrant. First responder, seize evidence and transport. Mean to say कि if crime happens, so what the things you found on the crime scene, so you have to preserve that data, you have to preserve that things, because this is the only evidence for your cybercrime investigation. So suppose in a crime scene you found a laptop or you found a pen drive. Okay, and there is some data on the pen drive. Okay, so first of all, you have to make an image file of that pen drive, and the original pen drive was preserved by you, because this is the only evidence you found. Okay, and your investigation is started from the image file, because you have to bit by bit copy your pen drive into the image file. That's how preservation works. Okay, now extraction. Okay, bit by bit copy, MD5 Shaw chain of custody. Mean to say कि suppose bit by bit copy, MD5 and Shaw algorithm according to your choice. So there is a